Hello everybody, I'm Larry, and I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Larry Under Pressure, where everything we fix is simple, quick, delicious, and always on a budget. Today we're going to fix something really good and something that's easy to make. We're going to make Cajun crawfish and rice casserole. It doesn't make a huge amount, but it's easy to double or even triple if you want to make enough for a large family or for company. If there's just 2 or 3, the amount we're going to fix today will be perfect. One of the best things about this recipe is even though there are several different steps to cooking it, it can all be done in one pot, so you don't have to dirty up everything that's in the kitchen. So let's get started. We're going to start out with rice. We're using yellow rice with saffron, and we've got 1 cup of rice. We're going to pour it into the Foodi, and we have 1 3/4 cups of water. We're going to pour it in the pot, stir that around a little bit, and it's just that simple. Now we're ready to cook. We're going to get the pressure lid for the Foodi, put it on the pot, close the lid, make sure we're in the seal position so it holds pressure. Turn on the pot. We're going to use the pressure function. We're going to pressure on high for 12 minutes. It's going to take about 5 to 6 minutes to come up to pressure. Once it comes up to full pressure and heat, then it'll begin the countdown for 12 minutes, and we'll come back at that time and take a look and make sure it's done. The pressure phase is done, and now it's beginning to count up, and we're going to wait for 12 minutes, and after 12 minutes, if there's any pressure left in the pot, we're going to release it and check the rice. So we'll wait until then and check it when it's done. It's been 12 minutes now, so we're going to go ahead and release what pressure is left and check the rice. There's no pressure. It just dropped. The pin just dropped. So let's see what we've got going on here. Looks right. Sure does smell good. Yeah, it's perfect. It's tender, but doesn't look mushy, and it's just right. I love yellow rice. You can use any kind of rice. You can use basmati rice. You can use any kind you want. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a pan that I have prepared. It's actually a Ninja pan, which any of y'all who watch my channel know I always use the Ninja pans because they fit perfectly and they always clean up well and everything's good about them. So I'm taking the rice out of the pot since it's cooked, and I'm going to smooth it out a little bit and make it where it's right. The cat likes the smell of it too. I don't know if you can hear her, but she's just going crazy. Okay, that's done. I'm going to clean out the pot and get ready for the next phase, so stand by. Now it's time to start with the rest of it. We're going to turn on the Foodi, go to sear saute, leave it on high, and press start. Next we're going to put in a 1/2 stick of butter in the bottom, and we're going to wait till it melts down just a little bit. It's actually still pretty warm from cooking the rice, so it won't take long. We're going to melt the butter. And then I'm going to use 1.5 cups of frozen vegetables. It's bell pepper, a little bit of carrot, onions, and celery. You can make all of these things separately. You can get the fresh vegetables and do them if you'd prefer to do it that way. But I find these are the least expensive and the easiest way to go. At Publix, a bag of these that'll make 2 of these is about $1.60. So it's a good value, and it tastes just as good as if you cut it all up yourself, I think. So I'm going to pour that in, and we're going to saute those vegetables until they're soft and cooked, and then we'll be ready for our next ingredients. I've sauteed those vegetables now for about 10 minutes. I think it's very important to make sure you get them real done. Personally, I don't like raw, crunchy onions. I like them soft. So if you're doing this and you're sauteing these, remember when these go in the dish, they're not going to get a lot of baking time. So the way you want them is pretty much the way they need to come out of this saute. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1 can of Rotel diced tomatoes and green chilies. Add that to the pot, stir it up, and leave it on saute high, and let's saute this for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll move to our next step. We've just finished a 5-minute saute on the Trinity vegetables and the Rotel, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add 1 can of soup. I'm going to use cream of shrimp because I like the taste of it, but you can use cream of shrimp or cream of celery or cream of mushroom or whatever you like to put in it. So we're going to put the soup in to add texture and additional flavor. Stir that and then let that cook also on high, just as we've done the rest of the ingredients, for about 3 minutes. And then we'll be able to add our last ingredients for our last phase of the cooking. Make sure this is good and mixed up so the flavors all blend. Be back after 3 minutes. It's been 3 minutes and we're ready for our last ingredient add. And I think I'm going to turn the pot down to medium high because it seems like it's really boiling. So let's turn it down. Now we're going to put in the actual crawfish tails, and we're using 1 pound of cleaned, deveined crawfish tails to the pot. Stir that around. Wow, that added a nice smell to it. That's a lot of crawfish. It's more crawfish than anything else, but that's good. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of Cajun seasoning, and my favorite that I always use is called Big Ken's Bayou Blend, and I get it at the New Orleans School of Cooking. I think it's also available from New Orleans School of Cooking on Amazon, so you need to try it out. It's one of the best, if not the best, that I've ever tasted. And the last thing I'm going to add is to taste. I've got just a tiny bit of cayenne pepper. I've got some white pepper, ground white pepper, and some salt. And I'm added that just to add one more little kick. So that's all together and it looks amazing. As you can see, remember I've reduced it to medium high on the sear saute, and we're going to let that cook for 3 more minutes and we're done with this part. Now we've completed the last 3 minutes, so I'm going to turn off the Foodi, and then we're going to spoon this wonderful smelling concoction out onto the yellow rice. And finish up with the last phase of cooking. Since I've put the crawfish in there, the smell has just gone crazy. It's amazing. You could add anything you like to this to enhance the flavor. You could add andouille sausage that you'd fried. You could add fried bacon, a little bit of ham, or anything that you'd like to enhance the flavors of this. I just wanted to kind of keep the recipe pure for this video, but you can do it however you want to. There, I'm going to spread the sauce on top. Wish you could smell this. That part's done. And the next thing I'm going to do is add cheese on top of it. I'm using extra sharp cheddar. Spread that out nice and evenly on top. And the last thing we're going to do, before we taste it of course, is bake it. So I'm going to bake it in the same pot as I said at the beginning of this video. So I'm going to clean the pot and then I'll be right back and we'll put it in to bake. Now we're ready for the final phase. We're going to take the pan that we have it in, put it on the rack on the low position. Put it in the Foodi, close the permanent top, turn on the Foodi, and we're going to go to bake and roast. We're going to cook at 300 for 20 minutes. We'll check it after about 10 minutes to see where we are so far. There we go. We're started and we'll be back in 10 minutes to check it out. We've been going for 10 and when we open it up and look, it's bubbly, but the cheese is not browned yet. So we're going to let it go for another 10 and we'll check it at that time and see how we are. Let's get the casserole out of the Foodi and take the pan off the rack and go from there. Oh, that looks so good. And it smells even better. I'm gonna let that cool for just a few minutes and sit here with my crawfish. That's actually a recipe holder that I got in New Orleans. And we'll be back once we get it out of there and get it plated up and give it a taste test. That's the fun part. Okay, here goes the fun part. Got it all plated up. I put it on a small plate because if I put more, I'd probably eat it. And got some French bread with it. We'll give it a taste. Get some of the rice, some of the crawfish, and some of the cheese topping. It's amazing. It's just delicious. Absolutely. The Cajun crawfish and rice casserole is a winner to be sure. Try it and see what you think. You won't be disappointed. Also, below this video at the bottom, you'll find a complete recipe and some thoughts of mine. So you can take a look at that and print it out for yourself so you'll have it for your record. And also, while you're down there looking at the recipe, I'd really appreciate if you'd like this video, if in fact you did like it, and also join my channel by subscribing. Thank you again, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.